Any work, that you are doing while being distracted or semi-distracted will be done by robots, software, or some machine in the future. If you do not have the skill ki kuch to do deep work, then thousands of people will be ready to do this multitasking work for even less money than you. Due to overpopulation and unemployment, Bill Gates' Microsoft company and J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter book series are popular all over the world. There are many programmers and writers, but why are the works of these two famous worldwide? Because the technique used by Bill Gates and J.K. Rowling to build the Microsoft company and the Harry Potter book series is called deep work. In today's time, this technique is very rare. There are few people who use it. Now your question might be, what is deep work? When we talk about work, there are two types of work. One is deep work and the other is shallow work. Shallow work is the kind that is done with distractions, like doing office tasks while chatting, actually being on your mobile during conversations, or working on a project while listening to music. Meaning, all the tasks you call multitasking are actually shallow work. Shallow work reduces your productivity and wastes more time. Constantly scrolling on Facebook and Instagram, checking emails, replying to messages, all of this is shallow work. Meaning, even if you do all these tasks your entire life, this work is not going to bring any progress in your life. On the other hand, there is deep work, which is an activity performed by professionals in a distraction-free environment. Deep work is somewhat difficult, but important intellectual work that should be done for a long time without distractions. In deep work, you need a distraction-free environment that enhances your thinking capability to such an extent that it becomes very valuable and hard to replicate. This means that no one can steal or copy your skill. In other words, with deep work, your work will be the most unique and powerful. For example, American writer Mark Twain used to work in such an isolated room at his home that his family members had to blow a horn to call him. Microsoft founder Bill Gates takes 2 think weeks every year, during which he stays away from the internet and people, spending time at his lakeside cottage reading and thinking about new ideas. MIT professor and award-winning novelist Alan Lightman also retreats to his small island for some time where there is no internet or mobile connectivity. You might think that we can get our work done even while being distracted. So why do we need this distraction-free deep work? Let me tell you that any work you are doing while being distracted or semi-distracted will eventually be done by robots, software, or some machine in the future. If you don't have the skill to do deep work, then thousands of people will be ready to do this multitasking work for even less money than you. Due to overpopulation and unemployment, it means that your salary bracket will inevitably become automated in some way in the future. Now, I will explain to you with the help of a concept why shallow work is so bad. The name of that concept is attention residue. Imagine you are working on a project with 100% focus, and suddenly a notification pops up on your mobile, prompting you to check it. When you return to your work, 20 to 30% of your focus remains on the mobile, and only 70 to 80% of your focus returns to your work. This means that 20 to 30% of your attention residue remains with the previous task, and it will take a lot of time to regain 100% focus on your work again. Similarly, in multitasking, when you do many things at once and switch from one task to another, a lot of your concentration gets wasted. As a result, you are never able to work with your full 100% focus. If you want to make yourself rare, valuable, and unique, you will have to learn to defer. Because in the coming times, due to digitalization, people will have an attention span even less than that of a goldfish, meaning less than 8 seconds. And if at that time you have the ability to defer for several hours, you will be counted among the rare valuable professionals who have the capacity to produce world-class quality work. The author says that in the upcoming tough economy, only 3 types of people will be able to survive and move forward. 1. Those who have a lot of funds to invest in big companies. 2. The second type are those who can understand artificial intelligence, machines, and technology well and work with them. And the third type are those who are experts in their respective fields. Now obviously, out of these 3, the approach that is best suitable for everyone is to become an expert in their respective fields, and you can only become an expert in your field when you have the ability to differ with full concentration. So let's understand how to actually make a deep difference. Cal Newport has told us about 4 techniques for doing deep work, which you can choose according to your needs. The first is monastic deep work, where you leave everything behind like a monk and isolate yourself somewhere, just to achieve a goal. For example, in the 1970s, Bill Gates completely isolated himself from the world for 8 consecutive weeks to create the first version of BASIC. This coding later became the base program for the billion-dollar company Microsoft. Now obviously, leaving everything behind and working on your goal like a monk is possible for very few people. But if you can do this, you will gain a significant advantage. The second is the bimodal approach. This means working with a monastic approach sometimes and living a normal life at other times. This approach is for those who cannot completely isolate themselves from the world. Like J.K. Rowling, she faced many distractions at home while finishing the last Harry Potter book because she was troubled by barking dogs, children's noise, commotion, and many other distractions. So this time she adopted the model approach. That is, whenever she had to work on her book, she would go to a hotel away from the internet and people to write and later return home to live a normal life. Similarly, you can also disconnect for 2 hours to work on a project, and once your work is complete, come back to people and start living a normal life again. The third is rhythmic deep work. The basic idea of this approach is to develop the habit of doing deep work on a rhythmic basis in your life. Therefore, in this, you need to set a fixed time when you will do deep work every day, and during the rest of the time, shallow work will continue. And lastly, there is journalistic deep work. If you are very busy throughout the day, you can follow this approach. In this, like a journalist, whenever you get free time, even if it's just half an hour, you should do deep work. For example, if you find out that you will be free from 3 to 3:30 today, then turn off your phone and go to an isolated place to do your work. Authors also use this technique, where whenever they get time, they work in deep mode, according to their schedule, during that time or day. This means doing deep work that is fully customizable and situational is an extreme example of it. When Peter Shankman had to write a book manuscript in a very short time, he adopted a slightly unconventional but powerful idea and booked a round-trip business class flight from America to Tokyo. This was because no one could disturb him there, and by working with full concentration for 30 continuous hours on the flight, he completed the script. It cost him a bit to work deeply at 30,000 feet, but the quality of work he was able to produce there, without distractions, made that expense insignificant. So, different people have different ways of doing deep work, but the principle is the same: work without distractions. You too can start doing deep work by using any of these techniques, according to your needs. Now, summarizing everything I learned from this book, work is mainly of 2 types, deep work and shallow work, where deep work is very valuable and rare. Deep work can mainly be done in 4 ways, which are monastic, bimodal, rhythmic, and journalistic approach. In the 21st century, if you have the ability to do deep work without getting distracted, you can produce world-class work like Bill Gates and J.K. Rowling. I learned all these things from Cal Newport's book, Deep Work, which was truly amazing. If you want to know a little more deeply about deep work, you should definitely read this book, the link to which you will find in the description. And if you don't have time to read such interesting books, then keep watching my videos on such books. If you are still watching this video, congratulations. You are more focused than 99% of people who watch videos on YouTube. And doing deep work will be quite easy for you. On this note, there is a secret comment code for you, #about99, which you should write with your comment, because only those who have watched this video till the end will know this code. Thank you.